No, he's writing the names.
Yes, yes.
Please sit down and write.
Ready.
These copies are ready.
Distribute
Just distribute it.
They will do so. Everything is ready. Copy, but the guy is there. He will distribute. Manhar Patel.
आज राजीव गांधी भवन में इस पत्रकार वार्ता में आए सभी पत्रकार बंधुओं का हार्दिक आभार है। हमारे बीच में पूर्व गृह मंत्री एवं वित्त मंत्री, वर्तमान में सांसद श्री पी चिदम्बरम साहब, हमारे इंचार्ज गुजरात के हमारे बड़े भाई श्री रघु शर्मा जी, गुजरात प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के जुझारू प्रेसिडेंट श्री जगदीश भाई, हमारे सेक्रेटरी मनहर ठक्कर साहब, मनहर पटेल साहब, भार्गव ठक्कर साहब एवं हेमांग रावल जी। आज का विषय हमारा मूल तौर पर अर्थव्यवस्था और गुजरात से संबंधित रहेगा। मैं आपके और चिदम्बरम साहब के बीच में ज़्यादा समय नहीं लूँगा। मैं निवेदन करूँगा चिदम्बरम साहब अपना वक्तव्य रखें। आई रिक्वेस्ट मिस्टर पी चिदम्बरम टू जस्ट ब्रीफ द प्रेस। थैंक यू।
Good morning to all of you. AICC in charge, Shri Raghu Sharma ji, Pradesh Congress Committee President, Shri Jagdish Thakur ji, AICC Spokesperson, Shri Alok Sharma ji, GPCC Office Bearers, Shri Manhar Thakkar, Shri Bhargav Thakkar, Spokespersons, Shri Hemang Raval, Shri Manhar Patel, and other friends. I'm very happy to be here just after the elections to Gujarat Legislative Assembly have been announced, and 5 or 6 days before nominations will open. We are all happy that the Election Commission supported official tours of the Prime Minister are over. We think that the Election Commission obliged the Prime Minister by not announcing the dates of the Gujarat election. On the same day, they announced the dates of the Himachal Pradesh election. The reason is obvious. In the last 8 years, this has happened more than once. And despite our pointing it out several times that this gives an unfair and unjustified advantage to the Prime Minister, this practice has continued, be that as it may. Now there's a more level playing field between the ruling party and the opposition party. It's not entirely level, but it's a little more level than what it was until 2 days ago. Let me begin by reading a brief opening statement on the state of the economy of Gujarat as I see it. My press conference is essentially about the economy. Then, of course, I'll take questions from you. Copies of this statement are ready in English. They are being distributed to you. And I'm sure during the course of the day, a Gujarati version will also be made available. I wish to begin by offering my sincere and heartfelt Okay?
Okay.
Okay? All right. I wish to begin by offering my sincere and heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims of the Morbi bridge collapse tragedy, and further to the entire people of Gujarat who are in mourning as a result of this terrible man-made tragedy. The collapse of the bridge has brought shame to the fair name of Gujarat. On Sunday, in my column titled "No Apologies, No Resignations," I had raised 7 pertinent questions. I have not heard anyone give answers to the questions. I was happy to note that the High Court of Gujarat has issued notice to the state government. I hope the High Court will raise these questions and also other questions and get the answers from the government. The most shocking development is that no one, not one person, on behalf of the government has so far apologized for the tragedy. To the best of my knowledge, nobody has offered an apology to the families and to the people of Gujarat. No one has resigned taking responsibility. In any other country, such a horrific tragedy would have immediately got the resignations of people directly accountable. Here, no apologies, no resignations. That, I think, has brought greater shame to the people of Gujarat. Now that elections to the Gujarat Legislative Assembly have been announced, I want to briefly address you on my view of the economy. The BJP government has been in office continuously since 1998. The current Legislative Assembly was elected in 2017. In the last 6 years of the BJP government, there have been 3 chief ministers. A clear indictment of the performance of the outgoing chief minister. I often wonder if the elections were held, say next year in 2023, I'm pretty sure it's quite possible that Shri Bhupendra Patel would also be shown the door and the 4th chief minister would be here. The reason for revolving door chief ministers is quite simple. Gujarat is not being governed from Ahmedabad. It is governed from Delhi. Gujarat is not being governed by the chief minister. It is being governed by the duo of Shri Narendra Modi and Shri Amit Shah. Gujarat is a vassal state of Delhi. The boast of double-engine government is an empty boast. Gujarat is in fact a single bullock cart that is trudging on a mud path, leaving behind vast sections of the people, especially, and I want to emphasize this, especially the scheduled tribes, women, the youth, and the poor. Let me repeat that. In Gujarat's path of so-called progress, the people left behind are the scheduled tribes, the women, the youth, and the poor. Behind the illusion of growth, prosperity, and social harmony, there are ugly facts that are carefully hidden but are well known to the people of Gujarat. Let me point out some indisputable facts. The growth rate of the state GDP is on a decline since 2017-18, as will be seen from the following table. In constant prices, these are the growth rates. 2017-18, 10.7%. 2018-19, 8.9%. 2019-20, 7.3%. And 2020-21, the pandemic year, minus 1.9%. This in fact mirrors the declining GDP growth of India. Gujarat also is on a declining growth path. The claim of high investments flowing through the 9 vibrant Gujarat conferences since 2003 is a gross exaggeration. Data have been released only for the first 5 conferences up to 2011. The data reveal the true picture. And I'm going to give you the numbers of the promised investment and the actual investment, year-wise. 2003, 66,068 crore rupees was promised. Actual investment, 30,746 crore. 2005, 1,06,160 crore was promised. Actual, 37,939 crore. 2007, 4,65,309 crore rupees was promised. Actual, 1,07,897 crore. 2009, 12,39,562 crore was promised. Actual, 1,04,590 crore. 2011, 20,83,047 crore was promised. Actual, 29,813 crore. So while the promised number keeps growing year after year, the proportion of the promised number which is actually invested is declining year after year. The total debt of the state of Gujarat in 2020-21 was, according to government publication, 2,98,810 crore or 18.04% of the GSDP. 18% of the GDP is debt. According to the RBI, the total outstanding liabilities of the state in 2022 is far more. It is 4,02,785 crore. As a percentage of GDP, it will be about 24%. Gujarat's socio-economic data are mixed. there are some positive developments, but there are many worrying features. Let me give you a few. Gujarat's population is 5% of India's population. The sex ratio, female to male, is 919 per 1,000 males, as against the All India ratio of 943. Where are the missing girl children? Why are the girl children missing? I think people of Gujarat should ask this question. Where are the missing girls? The labor participation rate is 41%. According to government's data, of the total labor force, 59% are not working. Now, why? Not because they don't want to work, not because they don't need the money. Why are they not working? I think young people should ask this question. If the total labor participation rate is 41%, the female work participation rate is only 23.4%. Roughly 76% of women who are capable of working, who are in the working age group, are not working in Gujarat. Why? I think women, educated women, economists, sociologists must ask this question. Why are women in the workforce not working? Of the working population, 50% in Gujarat are cultivators or agricultural laborers. Now, what does that mean? 50% of the workers of Gujarat have no social security at all, have no statutory protection, have no kind of protection, because they are either cultivators or agricultural laborers. Let me move on to something. The total number of households in slums is 3,45,998 households, which translates to a total slum population of 16,80,000. Now, why are 16,80,000 people in slums? Why don't they have houses? Let's look at some other indicators. As per last published data, infant mortality rate in Gujarat is 29 per 1,000 live births. The under 5 mortality rate is 31. Which means what? 29 children die within days after birth per 1,000. That's bad. The under 5 mortality rate is 31 per 1,000 births. Why do children who survive the first year, why do they die within the first 5 years? These are indicators of the healthcare situation in Gujarat. The maternal mortality rate, the number of mothers who die at childbirth per 1 lakh live births, is 75 mothers die out of every 1 lakh live births. This is extraordinarily high. Let me move on to something else. Retail food inflation in Gujarat is among the highest in the country. According to reports, it was 11.5% in August 22. It may have come down a bit, but it touched 11.5% retail food inflation. According to CMIE data, the unemployment rate among youth in the age group 20 to 24 years is 12.5%. So every 8th young man in the age group 20 to 24 is unemployed. That is why I said, while Gujarat may create a smokescreen of progress and development, the people left behind are the scheduled tribes, the women, the youth, and the poor. Unemployment among the uneducated youth and the low educated youth is extremely high. For example, the state government received 17 lakh applications for the post of Talati. And how many posts were available? 3,400 posts. For 3,400 posts, 17 lakh people applied. The employment exchange numbers of the state Gujarat say only 3,42,000 are in the live register. Only 3,42,000 are in the live register up to October 2022. But you have 17 lakh people applying for 3,400 posts. They are not even registering in the employment register, in the employment exchange. The average wage rate in Gujarat is among the lowest in the country. For example, the wage of the construction worker in Gujarat is only 285 rupees a day. If he went for Maganrega work, he will get more. The construction worker who's semi-skilled, some are skilled, some are semi-skilled, gets only 285 rupees a day. I've given you a few examples to show how behind the smoke screen created by the BJP, there are many, many ugly realities. Any government and any party must be answerable and accountable to the people. And they will be answerable only if there is the fear of losing an election. It is the fear of losing an election which makes the government answerable and accountable. If after the Morbi tragedy, no one has apologized, no one has resigned, no one has been called by the government to resign, it means that the government and everybody feels that I'm not answerable, I'm not accountable. Why? Because the BJP is sitting on a summit of arrogance and thinks that it will not lose an election. In all mature parliamentary democracies, the people change the government from time to time. Change is the order of a parliamentary democracy. Every few years, every few terms, you must change the government. Why are the social indicators, health indicators, education indicators high in states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu? Because governments are changed once in 5 years, once in 10 years. If governments are not changed, if the party in government arrogantly believes that it will not lose an election, that party, that government will not be answerable, will not be accountable to the people. Example is the complete lack of accountability until this minute, complete lack of accountability for the Morbi tragedy. My appeal to the people of Gujarat is change your government. Assert your democratic right. Establish the principle of parliamentary democracy. Governments must be changed from time to time. Governments must be changed once in 5 years or 10 years. That is why in many countries there are term limits. The US president is limited to 2 terms, however good he is. for the sake of democracy, for the sake of accountability, he must go and somebody else must take over. The somebody else may do better. So my appeal to the people of Gujarat is, change your government. This time, vote back the Congress party. You know the Congress party's record. You know the Congress party's history. Gujarat was built by the Congress party in the years between 1960 and 1996. We can do better, we will do better. That will be a vindication of the people's right to assert their parliamentary power. Change the government, vote for the Congress party. That is my appeal through you to the people of Gujarat. Thank you.
एक एक करके शांति से
What is it? Who is asking for this? No, you point. Just a moment. Let him point. Just a moment. Please sit down.
you just
Please sit down.
mention your
Then just a
paper or
moment. Mr. Sharma will point out, and then you please ask your question, and I will answer your questions.
एक एक करके हम लेंगे। पहले आप अपना नाम और किस पत्र से हैं, आप किस समाचार पत्र से हैं और या इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया से हैं बताएंगे और स्ट्रेट क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे। प्लीज सर।
My question to you, sir, is that since last 22 years, Congress has not been able to get into the power in Gujarat. You said very rightly that people must change the government. That is a proper principle to the democratic system. But according to you, sir, I would like to know why is that Congress has not been able to come into the power in Gujarat since last 32 years?
Well, if the Congress has not been able to come to power, it's because the people have not voted for the Congress.
But why is that Congress has not been able to appeal?
Justice.
So that's not a question which I'm competent to answer. I came here in 2017, I remember. Some of you may have been here. I appealed even then, change the government. But the people gave us a large number of seats, 77 if I remember. And the BJP got a fright, 99. But then they indulged in the usual Operation Lotus, which is their past masters. This time my appeal is, change your government. Show that we have the power to change, we will change. That alone will put every party on its toes and make it accountable. If you don't change the government, governments will not be accountable.
Yes, please.
Just hold
1 minute.
Just hold on. Just hold on.
Hello, bhai.
One by
Sir,
one, one
कैसे
by
नहीं
one.
रीते बोलते, please.
Sir,
This
please,
question
your
I've
name
understood. I've
from
understood
your
this
newspaper,
question.
please.
My name is Sarwar Kansuri and I am from Gujarat newspaper. I am from Gujarat Today newspaper. My question is, sir, why you call BJP Advocate Party?
Yes, I say so. After the Mobby tragedy, 153 people or 135 people died, 53 people are children. No one has apologized for the tragedy. Nobody has resigned after the tragedy. That is, according to me, an indication of their arrogance.
अंकित एबीपी से।
सर, आप कह रहे हैं कि बदलाव होना चाहिए, गुजरात की जो जनता से अपील कर रहे हैं, लेकिन यही अपील दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल यहाँ के कर रहे हैं, यही अपील असद सिंह ओवैसी यहाँ के कर रहे हैं, और अरविंद केजरीवाल तो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि जनता बदलाव करेगी लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनाएगी। तो अभी तक जो मुकाबला होता था बीजेपी और कांग्रेस के बीच में, अब 2-3 नई पार्टी सामने आ गई हैं। अरविंद केजरीवाल और ओवैसी साहब को कैसे देखते हैं सर इन चुनावों में?
See, I've understood. Broadly, I've understood. If you lived in Delhi as long as I have lived, and if you breathe that air of Delhi, you will not vote Arvind Kejriwal in Gujarat. I speak for the Congress party. You know the track record of the Congress party, 1960 to 1996. Gujarat was built from virtually scratch to not the number one state, but on the frontline states of India. Why did Gujarat separate from erstwhile Bombay? Because the feeling was that the area which is now comprised in Gujarat was being neglected, and the area that is now comprised in Maharashtra was being favored. But that is true of all large states. One section gets neglected. But after Gujarat was created and Gujarat became a separate state, the foundations were laid by Congress party and we built a huge mansion. I'm not saying that nothing has happened in the last 20 odd years. I'll be a fool to say that. I won't say that. But a Congress party can do better. A Congress party in Gujarat will do better. So my appeal is, change the government, give the Congress party a chance, and we will show that we can do better than the BJP government which has been in power for the last 22 years. And I've given you examples of areas where there's tremendous lack of governance, lack of proper government. These factors must motivate the people of Gujarat. Let's change the government once.
Narendra from TV9.
सर जी, आप जो नंबर्स दे रहे हैं उससे भारतीय जनता पार्टी वाले जो नंबर दे रहे हैं वो बिल्कुल अलग है। वो कहते हैं कि गुजरात ग्रोथ इंजन है और गुजरात में सबसे ज्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट दी है गुजरात में।
See, if you are in a position to point out which number of mine is wrong, I will answer. But I believe my numbers are right. I'm not saying I can never make a mistake. I could also make a mistake. But I think by and large, my numbers are right. I've checked the numbers. These are right numbers. If somebody points out that this number is wrong and this is the correct number, I will accept my mistake. But these are right numbers according to me.
Sir.
Sir, Manish from Bharat 24.
Manish.
जी.
Now let him call. Okay.
हाँ मनीष भाई.
Yeah.
सर 16 भारतीय युवा जो है उनको बंधक बनाया गया है। नेवी के जो जवान हैं उनको कीनी में नाइजीरियन बॉर्डर के पास में, और ये अगस्त में हुआ हादसा है। अभी तक ना कोई राजकीय पार्टी ने इसके लिए आवाज उठाई। आप क्या कहते हैं?
16 hostages at the border of Guinea and Nigeria. So no
I'm
other
not
party.
aware of it. I'm not aware. I'm sorry. I'll try to find out. I have no answer because I'm not aware of it.
सर हम अमित गौर
एक मिनट.
No,
गौरव
let him
from
call.
Z.
Let him call. He will call you.
गौरव भाई.
सर मैं गौरव पटेल टीम से आप कैबिनेट गृह मंत्री रह चुके हैं और उस टाइम
Oh, that was long ago.
कई बार ऐसे आरोप प्रत्यारोप करते हैं कि सीबीआई का काफी दुरुपयोग हो रहा है, तो क्या देखिए इस तरह से और क्या स्थिति है कि आंतरिक सुरक्षा व्यवस्था की होगी?
He's asking that misuse of different organizations and investigation agencies and internal security.
You see, it has been proved beyond doubt. 95% of all cases, of all arrests made by the ED and CBI are of opposition politicians. 95%. Anybody who joins the BJP, all the cases are closed. I can give you names, any number of names. From West Bengal to Maharashtra, I can give you names of people who cross over and all their sins are washed away. Alleged sins are washed away. I'm not saying they are sins, alleged sins are washed away. Until yesterday, he is a linchpin of a racket. He is the brain behind the scam. Once he joins the BJP, what happens? 95% of all cases, all arrests are of opposition politicians. Are you suggesting, does anyone suggest that the BJP is ruling in the center for the last 8 years BJP is ruling in some 11 or 12 states. Not one minister, not one MLA of the BJP deserves to be under the radar of the CBI and ED. That itself shows that these two organizations have become handmaidens of the government.
Yes, please.
Sir, Ishwari from Times Now. Sir, just last week, the Union Home Ministry issued a notification stating that 2 districts in Gujarat, which is Anand and Mehsana, the people who have come from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh will be given citizenship under the Citizenship Act 1992. Do you think that although the CAA has not been implemented all across the country, this is just a poll giving from the...
Obviously it is. They held back the CAA. They said they will not implement it because 5 states were going into elections. And then after the elections, they said CAA, Home Minister said, the CAA will be implemented. The Prime Minister's not said anything like that. The Home Minister says CAA will be implemented. It is not implemented in the border districts, the major border districts of India. And suddenly it's being implemented only in 2 districts of Gujarat. Why? See, the BJP does nothing except, let me rephrase it. The BJP does nothing except calculating only after calculating the electoral advantage.
Are you saying this as same as for the UCC as well, because they have promised that UCC will be brought in the manifesto by the BJP in Gujarat?
Of course. If they were going to bring UCC in Uttarakhand, why did they not do it for the 5 years they were in power? If they were going to bring UCC in Himachal Pradesh, they've been in power for 5 years, why did they not bring UCC? And everybody knows, even a first-year law student knows, you can't bring a UCC unless you amend, the parliament makes a law. How can a state government bring UCC? I think a first-year law student knows that.
Amit ji.
Sir, I am just reiterating to what Mayur said. But my question is that has the Congress introspected on why they are being rejected by the Gujarat people since all these 27 years?
Well, reject is a very strong word.
They have been rejected. There are only two parties in the state. Since a long time,
If you will ask the question,
obviously Congress is being rejected.
If you will ask the question, you will also answer the question. There's nothing for me to say. Let me answer. Reject is a strong word. I repeat, reject is a strong word. Last time people gave us 77 seats. They gave the BJP 99 seats. They did not reject us in the sense that you use it. They said, let BJP be in the ruling party, but just on the border of the majority, you be a strong opposition. That is the verdict of the Gujarat people. That verdict was disrespected by the BJP when they did Operation Lotus and taking away Congress MLAs to their side with huge promises, huge inducements. They do that everywhere. They do that in every state. And nobody in the media can deny that Operation Lotus is a 24/7, 365 days a year operation of the BJP. Therefore, people have not rejected the Congress. People said last time, you be a strong opposition and we will see next year. And I'm saying this year, please give us an opportunity to form the government and we will give you a better government.
Last question was not asked from the behind side.
All right. We'll take both. We'll take both.
Sir, recently Congress lost in by poll. Congress lost in by poll. What is your opinion about this, sir?
You see, as I'm only aware from the numbers in the newspapers. I think every party retained its old seat. The 2 seats in Bihar, the 1 seat in Telangana, the 1 seat in Maharashtra. even the one seat in Odisha was retained by the party whose MLA had been elected the last time. Except in Haryana, even there it's a retention. The gentleman held the seat, he crossed over to the BJP and his son won the seat. So I don't think there has been any major dramatic change in the by-elections. The party that won the seat in the last occasion has retained the seat. That is my reading of the newspapers.
Thank you, sir.
This is the last question. Yeah, please.
It's related to the economy of this country. The economy of this country, our country. Now, we said that in the coming year, 2023, it's going to be worse globally. So how do you see the future of our country in 2023 as far as the economy is concerned?
See, we will not go into a recession like European countries and perhaps the US. We will not go into a recession. But growth will slow down. Growth will nowhere near the rosy picture being painted by the finance minister and the chief economic advisor. Growth will slow down. Growth will slow down for several reasons. One, investments will slow down. Two, exports will slow down because the European and Western markets are down. Three, inflation and the depreciation of the rupee will eat into people's incomes and therefore consumption will slow down. So if exports, consumption and private investment slows down, 3 or 4 drivers are slowing down. There are only 4 drivers of economic growth. If 3 or 4 drivers are slowing down, let's put it this way, 3 or 4 engines are slowing down, the car will slow down. The only driver, only engine which can run is public investment. But how much the government is going to invest in public investment, I can't say. They say they are doing their best, but a 4-engine machine, if it's running on 1 engine, it is bound to slow down. So I don't believe the rosy picture being painted by the finance minister and the chief economic advisor. I think we must brace ourselves for a slower economic growth.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Thank you.
આપને વિનંતી છે કે માનનીય ચિદમ્બરમજીનો ઉપર ચોથા માળે પરિસંવાદ છે જેમાં વેપારીઓ, એજ્યુકેશનિસ્ટ અને પ્રબુદ્ધ નાગરિકો, વકીલો, બાકીના સીએ બધા ભેગા થાય છે. આપ પણ ત્યાં આવીને